Good morning. This week we're going to look at analyzing data. That's involving statistics and interpreting graphs. So there's some data. It's in a graph. There's a lot of information that we can get from this. What kind of information can we get?
We can get things like the maximum, which would be 68 pages read in one mail class.
Anything else?
We can get the minimum, which would be 3 pages read. We can see that the amount of pages that was most oftenly read was 44 per class.
So data analysis usually looks at two different things: computing statistical measures and preparing and interpreting graphs. Let's look at some statistical measures. First measure we're going to look at is
the range.
And the range might be
the maximum minus the minimum, so 68 minus 3, which in this case would be 65.
Another statistical measure that we use
is the mean, which is the sum of all the data divided by the number of different data points that we had.
So when you did that, what'd you get?
736 divided by 17 data points.
Okay, which is about
42.29.
Okay. Another statistical measure that we often use
is the median.
How do I do that?
You just take off one from one starting at the minimum and one starting at the maximum. You just keep going down the list till you find the very middle one, and that would be 3 in this case. Which is the very center of the data.
Yep, 3 is the center of that data, but it's not really 3. Gotta remember the stem. So it's really
43.
Ah, nice job. Thank you. And the last statistical measure that we use is
the mode, which is the number that occurs most often, aka 44.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so one of the things that you need to do on the proficiency is be able to know what kind of graph is best used for different kinds of data. You also need to understand how to read and interpret that graph. So we're going to look at some of the graph types that are used in the proficiency. You see a list of them there. We're not going to look at all of them, Brian, so don't have a heart attack over there. Here's the first one we're going to see, though. We've looked at that before. What's that one called?
Stem and leaf graph.
Okay, what do we use that one for?
We use it for organizing data.
And it's a great way to be able to organize a whole bunch of random, not random, but data that's all messed up, isn't it? Here's another graph. What's that called?
This is my old friend, the box graph, also known as the box plot or the box and whisker graph.
The box and whisker graph shows the distribution of data. Now, what we do here is we take the data and divide it up into 4 equal sets, and one set goes in each of those 4 parts of the box and whisker. Since I'm dividing it up into 4, I have quarters, and so a quarter of my data is in each quartile of the data. Okay, here's one more. What's that called?
That's a bar graph.
Well, not quite. A bar graph shows categorical data. Categorical data is stuff like first period, second period, third period. This is different.
Well, fine. If you want to be like that, then it's a histogram.
Certainly is. Histograms let us show numerical data, and you notice that the bars are next to each other. That's because the data is described by a range. Like in temperatures, each bar might be 10 degrees, so 20 to 30 degrees, 30 to 40 degrees. Not categories like first, second, third class periods. Okay, we're about finished with this one. We've got a worksheet for you. This worksheet helps you think about the different kinds of graphs that we've looked at, gives you a chance to interpret some data. Thanks to Brian for helping us with this video. Remember, if you're not sure what you're doing, visit a math teacher near you. Bye.